Every morning, millions of people walk outside, fill their bird feeders, and watch the birds eat. They smile, they feel good, they go back inside. But those birds are not eating that food. At least, not the way you think. What science has discovered about what birds actually do with the food you leave out is so strange, so calculated, and so intelligent that researchers are being forced to completely rethink what's happening inside a bird's brain. In the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn 3 things that will change the way you look at your backyard forever. First, birds are hiding your food in hundreds of secret locations, and they remember every single one. Second, they're not just feeding themselves. They're running a social network more complex than anything you've ever imagined. And third, the food you give them is physically changing their bodies in ways that scientists are only now beginning to understand. Let's start with what happens the moment a bird takes a seed from your feeder. You probably assume it eats it right there, maybe flies to a branch and cracks it open. But scientists at the University of Utah discovered something remarkable. Many of the birds visiting your feeder aren't eating, they're banking. It's called caching, and it works like this. A single black-capped chickadee can hide up to 10,000 seeds in a single autumn, each seed in a different location, under a piece of bark, in a crack, in a fence, beneath a dead leaf, buried in the soil. 10,000 seeds, 10,000 different hiding spots. And here's the part that disturbs scientists the most. They remember where every single one is. Months later, in the middle of winter, covered in snow, the chickadee flies directly to the exact branch, the exact crack, the exact leaf, and retrieves the seed it hid months ago. Their hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory, is significantly larger than in birds that don't cache. And here's what's truly strange. It actually grows bigger in the fall, when they need to remember the most locations, and then shrinks again in the spring. Their brain physically changes shape based on how much they need to remember. But chickadees aren't the only ones. Clark's nutcrackers, a bird you've probably never heard of, can cache up to 33,000 seeds in a single season, across an area of up to 200 square miles, and they'll retrieve them 9 months later with over 90% accuracy. That's not memory. That's a GPS system made of neurons. But caching is only half the story. Because here's what no one tells you about bird feeders. Your feeder isn't just a restaurant. It's a social arena, and the politics happening around your bird feeder would make a reality show look boring. Researchers at Cambridge University ran an experiment with Western scrub jays that changed everything we thought we knew about bird intelligence. They put jays in 2 rooms. In one room, the birds always received breakfast. In the other room, they never did. Then the researchers gave the birds food they could cache in the evening. The jays could store it in either room. Every single jay stored its food in the room where it knew it wouldn't get breakfast. They were planning for the future, not reacting. Planning. But it gets darker. These same jays watch each other. If a jay notices that another bird saw where it hid its food, it will wait until that bird leaves, and then move every single cache to a new location. They understand that other birds can have knowledge, and they act to deceive them. This is called theory of mind, the ability to understand what another being knows or thinks. For decades, scientists believed only humans and great apes could do this. The birds in your backyard proved them wrong. And parrots take it even further. A study published in Current Biology showed that African gray parrots voluntarily help each other get food, even when there's nothing in it for them. One parrot would give a metal token to its neighbor. That neighbor could then exchange the token with a researcher for a treat. The first parrot got nothing. It helped anyway. And when the roles were reversed, the parrot that had been helped was significantly more likely to help back. Reciprocity, gratitude, generosity in a bird. Now let's talk about the third thing. The one that might make you look at your bird feeder and wonder if you've been doing something you didn't fully understand. Your food is changing their bodies. A major study in Britain found that backyard feeders now support an estimated 196 million birds. That number exceeds the combined populations of most common garden species in the entire country. We are literally reshaping which birds exist and where they live. But it goes deeper than population numbers. In the United Kingdom, researchers found that the bills of great tits, one of Europe's most common garden birds, have actually gotten longer over a 26-year period. The reason? Bird feeders. The birds that could access seed feeders more efficiently, the ones with slightly longer bills,
Orden en la
survived
reunión.
better and
Sí,
reproduced
tomando
more.
notas.
Señalo el
Over
mapa.
just a few
Café para
decades, the
todos.
entire population shifted. Your bird feeder is driving evolution, right now, in your backyard. And the effects don't stop at biology. Research from Oregon State University tracked chickadees with radio frequency identification tags for years. What they found was reassuring in one way and unsettling in another. The good news: birds don't become dependent on your feeder. When researchers removed feeders that had been in place for 25 years, survival rates stayed the same. The birds simply went back to foraging naturally. But here's the unsettling part. In cities where feeders are everywhere, birds that use them are outcompeting birds that don't. Common species, the ones that visit your feeder, are thriving, while specialist species, the ones that rely on specific natural habitats, are declining. Your kindness is picking winners and losers, and you never even knew it. In the United States, surveys show that over 43% of households feed birds. In the United Kingdom, that number reaches 75%. Scientists now say this represents one of the largest unintentional ecological experiments in human history. And every time you fill your feeder, you're part of it. But before you think about taking your feeder down, you should know one more thing. A study on backyard feeders revealed something unexpected. In areas where feeders exist, there are actually lower rates of bird predation by domestic cats. The theory? Birds that visit feeders stay higher in trees, are more alert, and are better nourished, which makes them faster and harder to catch. Your feeder isn't just changing birds. It might be saving them from the #1 killer of birds in the world, your house cat. So the next time you step outside and fill your bird feeder, remember this. You're not just feeding birds. You're funding a network of 10,000 secret vaults hidden across your neighborhood. You're feeding animals that can plan for the future, deceive their rivals, and show gratitude to their friends. And you're participating in an evolutionary experiment that is quietly reshaping the bird populations of the entire planet. All of that from a handful of seeds. If this changed the way you see your backyard, subscribe. Because what birds do when you're not watching is only the beginning.